Hi, Libra. Welcome to your January through June 2023 reading. It's been a while since we've sat down and done this, so I haven't been able to do general readings for a while, but feeling pretty good these days, so we're going to continue doing this. We're doing it a little bit different this year. We're going to start off with the Power of Surrender cards. We're going to find out what it is that you guys will be surrendering for 2023. And then we will get a theme for each month. I have all of the major arcanas and the 4 aces in one deck. And then we will go through each month after getting the themes, and we will clarify each month with a different deck of tarot. So watch for your sun, moon, and rising. I think that you'll get more of an accurate representation of everything going on. You can look at all of your planets in your chart. You can read, I mean, like, honestly, I'll watch, like I have like Virgo Venus and all of that, but like I'll watch Cancer readings for my Mars to see like what kind of like activity I'm going to be doing this year, or like what it is, stuff like that. So Jupiter, you can like watch for your Jupiter also. You guys are the first sign that I've told that to, so I'm not sure why, but it's entirely possible to be able to get different messages for each of your placements, just as long as you're not confusing like don't like cherry pick just because one message is but may appear to be better than another message. Don't cherry pick all of that stuff, but and definitely don't confuse yourself by any means. Okay, we're gonna just going like they're ready. So surrender to your intuition, Libra. Tune into your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. So really listening to your gut instincts this year are going to be extremely helpful for you to get through whatever it is. And it's funny, I'm a Libra rising, so I understand the whole desire to balance. I was actually married to a Libra once. And the thing is, what Libras can do oftentimes, this is like their toxic trait that they do to themselves. It's not even anybody else, really. But a Libra toxic trait that they can do to themselves is brush things under the rug, is to not speak up for themselves and not, or they're not listening to what they know their gut feelings are telling them, because they, I don't really want to say that you guys are like people pleasing, because I don't think that those are the words. I don't think that that's the action that you use. Maybe some Libras can be, but like all in all, it's just you want to keep the peace. It's about justice. It's about, this is where Venus rules Libra in the justice kind of way, not in the luxury kind of way. So really reminding yourself this year, I think, in a big way to listen to your intuition is going to be so super helpful, because then you're listening to what your answers are within. You're not listening to other people's answers. Libras can be swayed by other people because we think, well, maybe they will be right. Maybe they're more right than what's going on inside my body. And like, that's the one thing that I want you guys to shift the perspective in. The High Priestess. Oh, love that the High Priestess came out for January. Because it goes right along with this surrender card. The High Priestess is all about intuition. She sees things, she feels things. She doesn't necessarily say a lot, but she does, she feels within her body. She knows because she goes directly to source for the answers. February is the Wheel of Fortune. March is Justice. April is the Devil. May is the World. And June is the Sun. Okay. My cat is outside screaming right now. I kind of just want him to go take a nap. He's been really obnoxious this morning. He's just a baby. He's only like He'll be 4 months old on the 19th of January. So he's only like 3.5 months old, but okay. So the you feel something changing. There's definitely something that's changing. And I know you guys are like, go get your cat. He's not anymore. He just stopped. Like he'll cry at the door, or he'll cry outside for a little bit, and then he'll be like, oh yeah. And I had to kick him out of the room because he was scratching me up, and I'm trying to set boundaries with him. I know that a lot of you are laughing. It's hard to set boundaries with cats, but I can't have them scratching me up because I take blood thinners. So that would be like a massacre happening. But he's okay now. I don't hear him anymore. So he probably went to go take a nap, which he really needs to have. Okay. So you guys already feel like something is coming. Like there's definitely this, intuitive feeling that something is shifting and something is changing, especially with the Wheel of Fortune here in February. Might have to do with work, might have to do with a lesson that you're learning also, but you're closing out a cycle. And I think that that's what this shift is going to be showing you this year, is the closing out of this cycle, because after you close out this cycle, there's some kind of clarity that comes. So I'm really interested to dive in and see. Let's start with the High Priestess in January. Oh, wow. We're not going to take all of those, but we super duper appreciate it. Okay. Okay. So we have the Hermit. We have the Three of Swords, and we have the Page of Wands. So you might be dealing with a Virgo energy, but I feel like you hear something. You already kind of intuitively knew that you were going to hear this. It feels like this was already like a message that you were preparing yourself to hear almost. And if you weren't preparing yourself to hear, like you knew that it was going to be happening, and it's kind of heartbreaking. Like it's a heart-wrenching message. You could have heard it from a Virgo, or it could have made you want to go into hermit mode. But I think that there's also some healing around this Three of Swords. And I feel like there might even be a message that's coming in that's going to help you heal whatever it was that initially broke your heart. Let's see. The Hermit. Yeah. Because there's this, the reason why I feel like there's a healing that's happening is because the Wheel of Fortune is in February. And usually the hardest part just before the shift is the heartbreak. You know what I mean? Or like the hardest part just before the shift is the having to take these swords out, you know? So the 10 of Cups on the Hermit. For some of you, you really wanted this happily ever after thing with a Virgo. The 10 of Cups is oftentimes a really beautiful and amazing card to have when we are manifesting for our future. And I feel like it may be that you either have Virgo in your chart somewhere, or you're actually dealing with a Virgo, sun, moon, or rising. But you wanted this happily ever after. And what's really funny is, for some of you, the Hermit card and the 10 of Cups means that you're finding that happily ever after within yourself. And it's not something that's like from the outside. And the other reason why I feel like this Three of Swords is a healing, and I think that the 10 of Cups is the revealing of what you've, like the work that you've done and how much you've healed and the journey that you've taken, because the Hermit card is very much about the journey that we take. But I'm sorry, not justice, having judgment on the Three of Swords means that you're being very well taken care of by the universe. There's, you're not alone in the healing process. And the more you allow yourself to get that medicine from within you, from that universal energy that you have going on inside of you, the easier that it's going to be for you to heal. Then we have the 10 of Wands on the Page of Wands. So The 10 of Wands is very much carrying the load. But I love when we get 10s because, again, that's the closing of a cycle. It may not be like a really big, massive closing of a cycle, but it is the closing of a cycle. And so I think that there's something that you're hearing that's going to help you. It's almost like take the load off. Like that's what I feel like, that there's something that's going to, there's people out there that want to embrace you when you're in pain. There's people out there that you in turn want to show the love to after you've been embraced by them. I didn't wear the limited edition shirt just for you guys for no reason. Like I literally bought this shirt years ago just so I could wear it during the Libra readings, because that's how I feel about you guys. I mean, there's nothing like you, right? There's nothing like you, and people really want to drag that part down. So knowing now and having the intuitive, feelings that you are healing and that you're allowing yourself to open up to the possibility that you don't have to do it all. You don't have to carry the load all of the time. It's entirely possible for you to just feel better about things, okay, with other people's help. So then February, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So there's a shift that's coming. It's a positive shift. Four of Swords. Love this. Four of Swords. Queen of Swords. And the Chariot. This is fantastic. Along with this shift, what's happening is you're really standing in your power. The Four of Swords is about meditation. It's about healing during that meditative time. And it's also about it's about cutting ties to the idea of the way we like normally think of things. I often think of it as sort of the minor arcana of the Hanged Man. It's like in this meditative healing moment, there's this perspective change that's happening, and you're really standing in your power with the Queen of Swords here and the Chariot. You're moving forward on your journey. There's this massive shift. It might be an actual move, or it's like a shift in energy and things are moving forward for your journey. So Four of Swords, Queen of Swords, and the Magician. Okay, and it's really helping you. Oh, wow, we got the Hermit again. It's really helping you to push forward. There's a lot of Virgo energy coming through as well. So I feel like some of you have a lot of Virgo placements in your chart, like me. The Hermit on the Four of Swords. Again, this is really, and it's interesting because when I get the Hermit energy, it feels very much like I am taking that journey inside, from within. It's not the journey on the, like, whatever destination I think that I'm going to be getting to, like a physical destination in some way, shape, or form. That's sort of the illusion until it actually happens. So this journey that you've been taking within is really allowing yourself to like heal those traumas from childhood and, not allowing anybody to take, like you're not taking shit from anybody anymore. But it really feels like there's this massive like push for you guys to want to heal the wounds. The Queen of Cups with the Queen of Swords, you could be dealing with a water sign. I do feel like this water sign, it could be a Cancer energy. They're very helpful. You may even be visiting a Cancer energy in February, or you might have a water sign visitor coming to you in February. But it very much feels like you've manifested this. We have the Magician on the Chariot, and that Chariot is the journey. Again, whether it's a physical movement or whether it's just your journey, you're creating the momentum, and the Magician is the person who has all the tools to be able to do it. And that's the thing, is like, even if we have all of the tools to be able to do it, that doesn't mean that we don't need help. And that was one thing. Sorry, my nose is really itchy during your reading. That is one thing that I truly had to learn, is that being hyper independent, and not asking anybody else for help, and not being open for anybody else to come in and, you know, be of assistance to me, that was actually my biggest downfall. Being hyper independent was my biggest, it's a trauma response, because you've probably been shown in your life before that asking for help means that you either have to do something back, like it's a conditional help, or asking for help or wanting to be with other people that could be helpful to you always made you see that you had to do it on your own in some way, shape, or form. You see what I mean? Like they would push it off onto you. They would start it with you and then they wouldn't end it, kind of thing. So March is where we find that balance, that justice. Let's see. Ooh, yes. Yes, my friends. This is the evolution of it all. And I don't think that you see it coming, but I think that it brings you some clarity. The duality of this is amazing, the way that this came up. And in this deck, when we have the Justice card come out in this deck, I'm really curious if it's going to. This deck, I'm pointing at this deck. There's usually a Wheel of Fortune above her head. So when I get the Justice card, I know that there's going to be some kind of change to bring balance to the situation. That's how evolution works. Evolution works because we need to change things in order to create the balance. We have the moon, we have the sun, and we have the tower. First of all, I want you to recognize that these are all major arcanas. So these are big fat road signs in our life that we need to be paying attention to. Like I said with this, I don't think that you see this coming, right? Because the moon is here. But once it gets here, once the tower moment gets here, it brings a lot of clarity. And I think that there's sort of this aha moment where you're just in March, where you're just sort of like, yep, this is the way. This is what's got to happen now. This is evolution at its finest. Even if it's not comfortable, still got to happen. Okay. Here we go. All right. You could be dealing with a Leo, a Scorpio, or a Gemini also. These are all major arcanas. March is a really big month for you in a huge, huge, huge way. The Death card on the moon, you really like the Death card, and having the Death card and the Tower in the same month really means that there is an ending to something that's happening. This is evolution. Evolution isn't always a positive thing. You know how we're always talking about, like, we all just need to evolve and be better people. And that's great. And that's fantastic. And that works that way too. But evolution literally means that we have to upend ourselves. We have to dig into whatever the foundation was and completely destroy it and start all over again. That's what evolution really, truly feels like. And, you know, death is a transition. Death is evolution because it's a transition. And a lot of times things have to die before they can be reborn. And this is a huge part of your path and whatever it is that you're experiencing and moving towards. The sun, we have, the star on the sun card. I think that there's some kind of, the star always makes me think of like, it's the wish card, but it's also your purpose. This is like, it makes me think of the North Star, makes me think of the North Node when we're talking about astrology. And so there's some clarity that's coming, whatever's ending to bring balance within you. There's some kind of clarity that's going to be coming with your journey as well. There's some kind of different direction to go in with this clarity. The Lovers with the Tower. I don't necessarily read the Lovers in the same way a lot of readers read the Lovers, especially those love reading readers read the Lovers. Because I mean, yes, this could be the ending of a relationship for some of you. This could be the ending of a relationship that has been holding you back for a while, that's not allowing freedom within your relationship, maybe a relation, or not allowing freedom within yourself. You know, when we're in a relationship with somebody, we have to allow them freedom and they allow us freedom as well, right? But with this, it's very much, and I feel like you're not going to see it coming until it actually happens. But with this, like to me, the Lovers is about what's happening within you. It's about bringing balance again, bringing justice to your own energies, your own masculine and feminine energies. And having masculine and feminine energies has nothing to do with being male or female. We all have masculine and feminine energies within us. If we're going to define them in a short way, masculine is the logical and the feminine is the intuition. So if you have been in your masculine and you've been fighting, if you feel like you're like in a constant battle with the world or a constant fight with the world, that may be the thing that's ending, because this can very much be about belief systems as well, the evolution of your belief systems. And it's like this, with all of these major arcanas here, I feel like it sort of smacks you upside the head. And it's like, listen, you can sit here and be angry all you want, or you can allow yourself to continue to move forward on your journey. Let yourself leave the belief systems and the people and the situations behind that were keeping you small, and then push forward, right? But there's some very big lesson that you're learning in March about evolution and about how things have to transition and end. Like I tell people, I wake up every single day a different person. And I do it on purpose. Like I don't wake up every single day and pretend that I've got it all figured out. I wake up every single day, asking the universe, what is it that I have to learn today? Every day is a learning experience. Every day is going to be a new day for me to evolve. What is it that I need to learn, right? So then we have April with the Devil. And the Devil can represent a Capricorn in your life. The Devil can represent a lesson in your life. The Devil can represent a job that you're doing in your life. But there's some kind of lesson when it comes to, wow, there's some resilience here. I used to think that I didn't want to be known for my resilience. And then I realized that it was my resilience that kept me alive. There's a lot of words that have been defined based on the patriarchy. We've been under the patriarchy system in this, for centuries. It's not going to be an easy thing to change, but we can start not necessarily redefining what the words mean, but redefining what they mean for ourselves. For myself, being resilient doesn't necessarily mean that I am ready for any more really big, massive shifts that are going to like tear me to my core. Does that mean that that's never going to happen again? No, no, because we're always evolving and we're always changing. But this feels very much like you're also learning how to be resilient for yourself so that you can kind of pick the pieces up. We have the King of Cups. So there's that water sign again. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles. We have the Nine of Pentacles. And then we have the Strength card. And I love getting the Strength card for you guys because, this card is literally an angel taming a lion. There's so much more to the Strength card than just being strong. This is about knowing what your power is. This is like, think about the lion as like the patriarchy. Think about, yourself as the angel and, because this feels like very much in a big way for some of you, you want to build a business on your own. The Knight of Pentacles is about being independent and abundant on your own. Sometimes that can get lonely, but sometimes it's necessary. And the Seven of Pentacles is about planting the seeds. So it could be maybe your boss is that water sign. let's clarify these. King of Cups. It could be that this is just you being emotional too. Like it could be that you're a little bit more emotional in April than you would like to be. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. See, and so this really makes sense a lot for a lot of you who do want to start your own business. The other thing is just about stepping into your creativity, but things are changing. So things are changing around this water sign energy, whether this is a friend of yours, a romance of yours, a relationship, or whether it's like a boss, but it feels like somebody who might be more of an authority figure. That's what the energy of the card feels like for me, for you guys. But with the Wheel of Fortune here, again, there's a shift that's happening around this person. And it's a positive shift. The Wheel of Fortune is very Jupiterian. We just have to remember that oftentimes these shifts come in divine timing. Like it's not going to happen when we want it to happen. It's going to happen when we're ready for it to happen. You see? There's a difference. We think sometimes we're ready, but not always. And then the Fool with the 7 of Pentacles, like, so the Fool can be a couple of different things, but since we have it here upright, it's very much about having faith in yourself. Even if you don't know what's coming down here, you still got to have faith in what you're doing. And I feel like you want to jumpstart something. You've been planting some seeds to start something. And it really does feel like you want to do this on your own. You don't want to be somebody. You don't want to, you don't want to do something with somebody else's permission, basically. Sometimes the Fool, like if you're too much of the Fool, if you're not being discerning and you're not reining your energy in, that can be really bad for you. So just pay attention to just be discerning about the messages that you're getting and be discerning about the choices that you're making. But this feels awesome because it feels like you guys are starting something new, but you have to end a cycle also. So you're sort of in that liminal space of really wanting to start something new and really wanting to let something go. We have the Empress with the 9 of Pentacles. For some of you, you're going to be a mother on your own. That's a message that just came through, but you're going to be finding out that you're going to be a mother on your own, and you got to have faith in the fact that you can do that. But the Empress is the creator. She is creation itself. She starts and begins with herself, basically. And with this 9 of Pentacles, it really feels like you're creating something. It's almost like it's your baby. Even if it's not an actual baby, it's like this is something that you're truly creating for yourself in big ways. And then we have the Queen of Wands with the Strength card. So you could be dealing with a Leo energy. You could be collaborating with a Leo energy. It does almost feel like this could also, I love that there's so much fire here. Look at this with the Devil and the Queen of Wands and the Strength card, so much fire there. But it really could just be that you've got this fire in your belly and you're recognizing that all of those times that you had to learn how to be resilient are finally starting to pay off. Like that's what this feels like. And so, a lot of times, we don't want to talk about humility. We don't want to talk about resilience. We don't want to talk about all those things that the patriarchy made us think were weak. Just like when people were, I remember like in the early 2000s when it was really taboo, or in the 90s, it was really taboo, 80s, whatever, like anytime before 2010, I think it was very taboo to talk about mental illness and the weakness of it. And it turns out that most people who were coined with a mental illness actually were very resilient and were actually people that could like pick themselves up and brush themselves off and keep going, kind of thing. I was one of them during that time that had to learn that my resiliency is actually a strength. And it's not that I want the world to bring me difficult situations to be in. It's just that I know that I can handle it. Now, trust me, I've been through enough. If you've been on this journey with me, you've heard the story. So I'm not going to bore you with them, but just knowing that you can do things and you can shift your own energy and you can create with it is going to like bring that fire up in your belly. And, it'll just be a really big push forward. Then we have the World for May. And so this really feels like you're ending one cycle and you're beginning with another. There's this huge feeling inside of me, thinking that this might be like your work journey, your career journey. For some of you, it's going to be about relationships. The three biggest things that we really talk about in tarot are the relationships that we have with ourselves and other people, our work stuff, and then the stuff that's going on inside of us, which would be the relationship that we have with ourselves. But so with the World, the ending is the cycle is closing. The ending of the cycle is coming. And intuitively, you can already feel that. And I don't think that you're just sitting around and waiting for the universe to show up for you, or waiting for the universe to show you the direction that you're supposed to go in, or the road that you're supposed to go on. But I do think that there are certain things that you don't have control over. So no matter what it is that you're doing, and no matter like the effort that you're putting into it, you also have to be patient, right? So we have Temperance, and we have the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the Seven of Cups. I feel like you want the cycle to end a little bit faster. For some of you, that's the ending of a job, the ending of a relationship, the ending of a friendship, the ending of a belief system, whatever. You want it to end much faster, but there's a reason why we have to take each individual step and not try and overcompensate ourselves. And a lot of it is so that you don't get confused, because so much time when we like try and rush into something, it can get very, very confusing if we're like looking at a lot of different things that we want to do. It can get very, very confusing. Temperance. And I do think that this slowness, or this need and desire to rush forward, is the confusing factor. If you allowed literally, I just want to tell you to let the energies take care of things. Like, it feels like May is that time where you just kind of take your hands off the wheel and you're like, I get it. I don't need to keep pushing forward. I don't need to force myself to do things. I'm just going to take a step back and I'm going to wait. And I'm going to see what the energy does. Those liminal spaces suck. They're so uncomfortable. It feels like you're being lazy because you're not pushing forward. But think about all of the work that you've done already. The way that it's going to like be in a more positive space for you to continue forward is to think about the work that you've done already. The Judgment with Temperance. You have to be patient. Temperance is about an easy balance, balancing your heart and your mind to make logical decisions. Not logical, balancing your heart and your mind to make decisions, to make choices. And you're not alone. Like, you literally, there's so much going on behind the scenes that we don't see very often. And we think that we're in charge to get everything done. So just taking a step back and, not forcing everything to go the way that you want it to go. Two of Pentacles with the Knight of Pentacles. So that Two of Pentacles, that vacillating, a lot of you are kind of worried about the financial stuff. Totally understandable. That could be a lot of where you're making your choices from. But when we live in fear, we make choices from fear. So if you're afraid of losing money, or you're afraid that this like patience that you have to have is going to take some kind of financial assistance away from you somehow or some way, living in that fear can perpetuate the fear, and you're going to make choices. You'll start making choices like the things that you did in the past, the choices that you made in the past, in order for you to feel better, to like subside the fear. It's almost like you are settling. When we make choices out of fear, we're settling because we don't have faith that something else better will come along. So if you just take a step back and realize that you don't have to have all of those answers all of the time, and stop vacillating and just let the process unfold the way that it's supposed to, the cycle will end, a new one will open. It's not going to be in the time frame that you think it's going to be in, or the way that you think, the way that you want it to be in either. On the Seven of Cups, we have the Fool and the Wheel of Fortune. Like I said, when we're in fear, we're making decisions based on the confusion of the moment. And there's, you don't want to be in a fool kind of stance when you're in fear. You want to have faith that the direction that you're going in is the direction that is going to be the best and the best for your highest good. Right? So a lot of this closing cycle has so much to do with how you feel about yourself, and really knowing that you don't have to, like, you make all the moves that you can make and then just be done and just be like, okay, I'm done. I'm done making the moves. I don't want to do the moves anymore. Yeah. Okay. And then finally, last but not least, we have the sun for June. So I do feel, and this is what I'm talking about, after that cycle ends, after that liminal space is over, after that discomfort happens, then we find clarity. And the sun can be about healing. The sun can be about having a brand new day. The sun can be about the clarity that we receive. There's so many things, but it's just a better day, a better feeling, right? It's more of feeling like we've won in some way, shape, or form. Okay. And this clarity feels like it's really time to have boundaries. You may end up recognized through this. For some of you, you're going to be really, really recognized through this situation. And for some of you, you're going to have to work on your boundaries. So there's a King of Pentacles. We have the Six of Wands. We have the King of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands. I feel like the Seven of Wands can kind of be defensive sometimes, but we all have to have boundaries. And I want you to remember that boundaries are not to just keep people out. Yes, there are some people that we want to make sure that we're having boundaries with to keep them out, but I would rather have boundaries, not necessarily to keep people out, but to know that they're welcome within me, like within my space. If I have good boundaries with myself, I'm not going to let anybody just come into my space and treat me any old way that they think that they can treat me, but you can certainly come into my space and respect me. Like, I'll respect you. I'll respect your boundaries if you're going to respect my boundaries. That's simple as that. And then we can coexist, right? That's where boundaries come in. And it feels like there's an earth sign here that you might have to have a boundary with. I also kind of want to say that with people recognizing you, it's almost as if they're spying on you. Make sure that people they don't have access to spy on you in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. Like, okay, this is a Capricorn energy, probably, this earth sign. Oh, the ending of boundaries. Oh, wait. That's the way that goes. The Devil on the Six of Wands. So you could get some recognition at work, maybe. This may be some kind of recognition from a Capricorn energy. Somebody is seeing you for the accomplishments that you've had or the things that you've done. We have the King of Swords with the King of Pentacles. So this feels sort of like a boss energy. And so, yeah, it does feel like, and there's some kind of lesson within this being recognized. Might even be that you're put on spotlight, but this does feel sort of like a boss energy. And the World with the Seven of Wands. So there's some kind of closure, like when it comes to the boundaries, and it's being pulled like this. That's why I said this closure of whatever is happening. It could possibly be the closing of one job and opening up of another job for you. It could be that you're starting your own business. It could be that you become a contractor. And so, things like that. And so you don't actually have to go by the rules of the business that you're contracting from. Anyways, there's definitely feels like some kind of shift when it comes to working. And it feels like there's sort of this closure to defensiveness. Like, you don't want to, defending yourself takes so much energy. I don't, if I do something wrong, I'm not going to defend myself and make myself feel better. That's not going to be the thing that happens. But also, you know, there's also another trauma response that I used to have a lot growing up or a lot from growing up. But I did feel like I mean, like I was always over explaining myself. I was always defending my position. I was always like in this defense mode. And I feel like there's this closure, there's this ending to that's happening for you guys. So if you would like to get your own 6-month prediction, I still have some availability on my calendar for January for that. I also have $60 tarot readings for 30 minutes. You can either get it live or you can have it recorded and I'll send it to you through video. They're only going to be $60 in January. After that, they'll go back up. But and I've had them $60 for a while. So there's been a long it's been available for probably a good 3 or 4 months now. So if you haven't taken advantage of that, now might be the time for you to do it. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful 2023. Thanks for hanging out with me.